Stan, I'm wondering, do you think the government is still following you around and bugging your home?
You know, this is ongoing ever since it started. I've been beat up, shot at, told to shut up. Our phones have been tapped. You know, this is the way it is. A lot of people think, you know, if the government really wanted to use surveillance, you'd never know about it. But what they don't, you know, like for instance, that video that you're looking at of the surveillance, the bike they found, it's not real high tech, but it doesn't necessarily need to be, because surveillance is very expensive. So especially the government will go the cheapest route they can, especially when it's long term. This has been going on for years and years and years. I kind of feel consoled to know that I've cost the government millions of dollars because of all the times they've harassed me and followed me, and which is weird because we're an open book. If they have any questions, all they have to do is just come ask, and I'll share it with everybody. The picture that I sent you, this was, I think in February. I was doing a phone call interview for a radio show out of Rome, Italy, and I was in my office, had my feet up on my windowsill, and this object just came down through the clouds and hovered there for about 20-30 seconds, moved over and went back up. And there were about 300 people that saw it all together, and you can tell it's triangular craft. Unfortunately, it's not the best quality because I took it through my window, through the screen of my office window with my cell phone. And then the video that I sent, my publisher has some connections with, you know, I think it's a CIA, NSA, I don't remember, but they told him that it'd be a good idea if I had my house swept. So we got some inside information, so he hired some people to sweep my house, and they found that listening device in the light switch of my office. And they also found another thing attached to my phone box outside. So that was a receiver, and that sent a signal to the transmitter through the phone line. So that's what you're looking at there.
If you could recall, how many times have you actually been abducted?
Really? At least, I'm going to say 12 that I remember. 2 of which were really very scary and seemed to be just about trying to scare me and make me fearful. I believe those particular experiences had to do with the government. I'm not exactly sure, but my first experience, I gotta tell you, it was almost polite. It was very scary. They took me against my will, but they went out of their way to make sure that I was comfortable. They tried to explain things to me. And I gotta tell you, it wasn't like, you know, if we watch TV, they always try to explain that the abduction phenomena is this baloney called sleep paralysis. The trouble is, it doesn't explain Biddy and Barney Hill. It doesn't explain Travis Walton. And I was completely awake from my experience and remember absolutely everything.
Stan, how many visitors from other planets and species have you encountered, and have they told you how many other species throughout the solar system and the galaxy are, and what about other dimensions?
Absolutely. At least 5 different types of extraterrestrials or beings, one of which, I'm going to say 4 because one of which I think just disguised itself so it was easier for me to deal with what they really were. And if you've read any of my books, I kind of, especially in my last book, Answers, you know, it's in my book Answers. I talk about that. And you know, there are, from what I understand, 14 different species residing with us on this planet. One of which actually evolved with us as part of this planet, except they live underground. Now, there is no such thing as a hollow earth, but there are massive, caverns and tunnel systems where these things live, from what I understand. Is it real? Can I prove it? No. But that's what I've been told.
Also in your book, Answers, you talk about a person named Lazarus who told you about the DCTL, or Doctrine of Convergent Timelines. Can you tell our viewers about this and how it refers to extraterrestrials?
Well, Lazarus, I still really don't understand who Lazarus really is. That's the name we gave him. He was a mysterious character that came into our life and then just disappeared. More than likely a non-human something. I mean, what I witnessed with my own eyes was real. But how do I explain this? I had to come to terms with the fact that UFOs were real. Then I had to come to terms with the fact that there were things driving these craft. And then I started realizing, hey, there are multiple things out there with different agendas. Good and bad up there, just like there's good and bad here. Then I started realizing, and I was pretty much led into, or taught, that some of these things are multidimensional. Some of these things are, maybe us from the future. Everything you can imagine is a possibility. So what does that say about reality? Reality itself possibly is just an illusion that we make up ourselves. And then, then I started asking the question, who are we? And that is a fascinating subject.
Have these beings actually given you a glimpse into the future, and are things going to be looking good for us? Or what is some of the scary things that they've been revealing to you, and is there anything we as humans can do?